anything and everything that takes place at this meeting tonight. I'm also responsible for the evaluation team, so I'm going to introduce my evaluation team for the evening tonight. So we have a superlative team of Toastmaster members that are going to be helping us with the evaluation during this meeting. The first person of the evaluation team will be our grammarian. So our grammarian tonight is Upai. Upai, can you please tell us a little bit about your role?
Good evening, everyone. Tonight, I'm going to be serving as your grammarian. And my job is in two parts. The first part is for me to introduce the word of the day. And the word of the day for tonight is superlative. I'm so sorry, I didn't realize I was talking to myself. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Tonight, I'm going to be serving as a grammarian, and my job is in two parts. The first part is for me to introduce the word of the day, which is superlative. It's an adjective, and it means the highest quality or degree. You can use it in an example like a superlative piece of skill. The second part of my duty tonight will be to listen to you as you speak and be able to note how much you were able to use the word of the day, and also to take note of any phrase that is positive and striking. At the end of the day, I will come back to give my report. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Mr. Grammarian. The second member of our evaluation team tonight is the counter. We had to make a last-minute change, but our counter for tonight is Carol. Carol, can you tell us a little bit about your the purpose of the counter, please?
Yes, my position as counter, I'm supposed to note words and sounds that are crutch words or pause fillers. As Toastmasters, we understand that we can speak fluidly and use a pause for emphasis. We don't have to be speaking every minute and filling sounds, but people who are inexperienced in many ways, they feel like they have to continuously say something. They will link sentences together with and, or, so, thus. That's my favorite one. Other words that are filler words are and. Those are words that I will be looking for, and generally we make a count of them. But our principal reason for this is to make people note how they are speaking, give them a heads up, and help them be better speakers. So when it comes my turn, I will give a count of the ahs and the ums and the whats and the so forths. Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Mrs. Counter. And the third member, and I say the third member of our evaluation team is our timer, which is a very important member.
Michael, you're
Michael,
muted.
your microphone is off.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. I will be serving as the timer tonight. As a timer, I will time the table topic, speakers, formal speeches, and the evaluator. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using the green, yellow, and red light. It's going to look like this: green, yellow, and red. And the time going to be on the screen. I would advise we look at the time. The time is going to look like this. You're going to see it on your screen as soon as it starts. If you look up, I'm sure we can all see the time here on our right and left, upper left side of our screen. Let us be mindful of that. For the table topic, at 1 minute mark, I will show the green light. At 1 minute 30 seconds mark, I will show the yellow light. It's going to look like this. At 2 minutes on the dot, I will show the red light. Those giving speeches should limit their remarks to the specific fish type. For the prepared fish, it will be 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I will show the green. At 6 minutes, I will show the yellow. And at 7 minutes, I will show the red. And for the evaluator, each evaluator has between 2 to 3 minutes to evaluate. At 2 minutes mark, I will show the green light, and at 2 minutes 30 seconds mark, I will show the yellow, and at the 3 minutes mark, I will show the red. Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, and over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tamer. I just want to confirm with the speakers. The speaker number 1, Christina, your speech is 5 to 7 minutes, correct? Correct. Okay, I understand. Shoma, your presentation is going to be 7 to 10 minutes. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, and I have a presentation also 7 to 10 minutes, Mr. Time Master. Just to take note of that, please. All right. And then the last one, but not the less important, actually one of the most important tonight, is our ballot counter, who is also the president of our club, Akim. Please introduce yourself, Akim.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. As your ballot counter, I will push out the electronic ballot to you all so that you could vote for the qualified contestants. And at the end of it all, I'm going to send the names of the winners to our Sergeant at Arms, Christina, who is going to publish the name and pass it on to the Toastmaster, Rafia, for announcement. Thank you so much. That's my role. Back to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Ballot Evaluator. And just want to briefly introduce our speech evaluation team. We have two superlative evaluators. Akim will be evaluating speech number 1 and number 2, and Upai will be evaluating speech number 3. And with this is our evaluation team, our general evaluation team. So I pass it back to you, Mr. Toastmaster. Mrs. Toastmaster, I'm sorry, Mrs. Toastmaster.
Just a point of order, Mr. General Evaluator, before Madam Toastmaster. Madam Toastmaster is going to double as the second speech evaluator tonight. So yeah. Rafia is going to evaluate the second speech. She just agreed to that just before the start of the meeting. I
got that wrong.
And then Mr. Timer also knows that when the red light goes off, we have 30 seconds to wrap up whatever we're doing, whether it's a prepared speech, an evaluation, or an impromptu speech. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. So we are moving towards our prepared speeches. So the first speech that we have, and I would say this is our speaker who is going towards the superlative degree. Our first speaker tonight, Toastmaster Christina Sinclair, her pathway path is presentation mastery, level 1. And the project is writing a speech with using vocal variety and body language. A toxic workshop or toxic boss can impact your mental health in many different ways. It can take you from a person following their passion to losing all hope. So let's find out with Christina's speech about how to deal with a toxic work environment and how it can impact your mental well-being. Christina Sinclair.
Thank you, Mrs. Toastmaster. Okay, I want everyone to picture this. Beep, beep, beep. The unpleasant screaming of the alarm each morning is your least favorite sound in the entire world. It sends shivers up your spine. You feel dread and lack of motivation. You try to find any excuse for not going to work. Red flag. You need to ask yourself this question. Why is work getting you so distressed? Is it just one day, or is it happening every day? All jobs have some level of stress, even good days. However, if you're going to work, or even the thought of going to work makes you tired, depressed, and physically ill, that's more than just general stress. These are signs of toxic work environment. A toxic workplace can take a superlative person following their passion to basically a soulless zombie. It's worth finding out how we can protect our mental health and well-being. I'm going to briefly go over 3 basic questions. First, what is a toxic work environment? It's an environment where negative behavior such as manipulation, bullying, yelling, and so on become the norm. I mean, you might feel like you're punished, humiliated, or rejected for speaking up, whether it's to share ideas or even raising concerns. The second question is, what are the signs of a toxic work environment? I mean, I could go on and on, but I'm gonna go with a couple of examples. There are no boundaries around work. Management might push themselves to burnout or exhaustion and expect the whole team to do the same, whether it's work in the office or at home. There is no work-life balance. There's no room to make error and to learn from it. I mean, if you make one mistake, you get yelled at and you'll never hear the end of it. I mean, in that environment like that, people start to do whatever it takes to avoid being in the line of blame, and leads to throwing people under the bus, whenever something goes wrong. Another sign is people regularly experience physical symptoms of work stress. Mental stress can start to affect you physically by, you might feel that your body and your brain are in high alert because our brains are constantly scanning for threats. So being in that fight or flight mode for a prolonged time can affect you long-term physical health. And you may start to experience some of the common symptoms of stress, anxiety, or depression, which includes digestive issues, sleep problems, and fatigue and aches. So my last question is, how do you deal with the toxic environment? Generally speaking, you have 2 options. Stay and navigate through the toxicity, or leave. I mean, it may sound like an easy choice, but the truth is that decision is up to you. To determine whether or not your workplace is worth damaging your mental health, that's up to you. I escaped a toxic workplace almost 2 years ago, and I'm still recovering from all the damage it has done to me physically and mentally. I never want anyone to encounter this. I hope these 3 examples will help identify, research what kind of environment you're working in, and help direct you into improving your situation. Life is too short to be miserable, and you deserve to thrive, not just survive. Thank you all.
Thank you, Christina, for giving us insight about the toxic environment and how to deal with it. And definitely, it poisons our life. Now, thank you so much. I would like Mr. Timer to please give 1 minute so that we can give feedback to Christina. Mr. Timer, you're muted.
1 minute. 1 minute.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Timer. So we are going to go towards our next speaker. The topic of our next speaker is data analysis for the City of Sugar Land Facility Department. Soma will present a 7 to 10 minutes technical presentation on dashboard that she developed for data analysis for the ticketing system for the facility department of the City of Sugar Land. This is a technical presentation that demonstrates the capabilities of using a very powerful analytical software named ARCGIS, ARCGIS, which utilizes a geographical information system for data analysis. So please welcome Shoma.
Excuse me, I need to share my screen because I'm doing a presentation today, PowerPoint presentation, but when I'm trying to share my screen, I'm seeing the host is.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, share your screen.
Go ahead. You can share your screen.
Okay, yeah, sure. See my screen now?
Yes.
You're on mute. Summer, you're on mute. Okay, that's good.
Okay.
And then we're seeing your slide number 3, just so you know. Okay, now it's slide 1. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. So today, this is actually my second speech in this Toastmasters session. And as I have chosen mastery in presentation part, so I'll be using a PowerPoint presentation for my today's speech. So for today's speech, I have chosen dashboard to showcase data for facilities management department of City of Sugar Land, and particularly their ticketing system data. So what is this ticketing system? Ticketing system means whenever other department place any service request to facility department, that time it goes to a particular online ticketing system, which is called help desk ticket. And then through that, they facility department knows which department needs what type of help, and based on that, they try to complete the job. So the data over here will be, so this is the first slide. Over here you can see that the data has several columns, particularly there are start date, end date, time, and what departments are requesting this help, and is it overdue, or the ticket has been completed within the time period. So when I got the data from the facility department, I got it from Excel. But as Rafia, Madam Toastmaster already said that I used ArcGIS software to evaluate this project. So first I have to publish this Excel sheet into ArcGIS Online and create it as a feature layer. So these are very technical terms. And then that feature layer become a data source of the dashboard. So now let's go to the next slide. You can see on the left, which is a big rectangle. Over here, you can see this is the actual picture of the dashboard. So dashboard means it can have it can have several options for either pie chart or graphs or text or code. You can add any of those analytical data analysis presentation here. And on the right side, you can see that this is the data that I got from facility department that is for only 1 month, which is September 2021. And now the total number of data is 1,110. In the next slide, you can see that this pie chart is basically showing at a glance of how the total number of tickets are divided into 2 parts. One, how many tickets has been resolved within time, which is 87.25%, and how many are overdue, like 12.75%. So basically, using this pie chart, we can easily create a performance, like a quick snapshot of performance of that particular department, how they are handling their ticketing request. The next slide is for response time. So it is not only that when the facility departments are getting the ticket, how they are actually working on the ticket or how they are resolving the problem. There is also a time-bound factor is also related with the ticket. That is the reason we can say like some tickets are overdue and some tickets are done within the time period. So if this particular pie chart is showing you that there are 3 main subdivision of the response time, and most of the responses, like 46.86% of the job has been done within 2 weeks period, and then 35.07% of the tickets has been done within 4 to 8 hours. That means within 1 day period. And there are 15.47% of tickets they are done within 3 days period. So again, using this pie chart and different coloring, color scheme and text, and particularly what we have in dashboard, it helps us to create a quick snapshot of the enlarged database. Now, this next slide is showing us another aspect of the ticket, which is working status. So one was dealing with the time, and now it is dealing with the working status. So over here, you can see that the tickets have been divided into 5 categories. 87.48% of the ticket has been completed within the time period, and in progress and new and on hold, they are almost 1.53% to 1.26%. And there are the ticket got cancelled, maybe some reason, for some other reason, it is only 2.93%. Now, so previously I show you how we can display chart, like how we can display a data on a chart in dashboard. Now the next slide will be showing you how the data can be drawn or can be laid out on the graphs. So this is the graph which is showing that whatever departments are sending requests to the facility management. And you can see that there are several departments, like from airport to traffic, everyone is sending job requests to facility department, and out of which ENS is sending the biggest request. The reason is that ENS means environmental natural services, which includes stormwater system, and then code enforcement, animal shelter. So, and after ENS is coming fire, and then coming police. So that means we can say that the departments which are most public facing, which are communicating with public most, they are actually sending more tickets to facility department rather than IT or legal. For legal, they have sent only 2 tickets, but for IT, they have sent only 16 tickets. So this is the ticket that is divided into how different departments are sending tickets to facility department. Now the next slide will be showing you how there are so many overdue tickets was there. So based on that overdue tickets, I also divided the data into several departments. So you can see again, ENS is getting the highest number because they are sending most tickets. So their overdue number of the overdue tickets are also pretty same. If you compare the 2 graphs, same as fire and PD. And then again, the legal and IT, they are also in the least. They are the department which are sending least amount of requests, and also their requests are overdue also least. And then this is another graph which is showing overdue tickets and the job type. So you can see that facility managements are doing several type of jobs, like from motor failure to water leak trip, or fixing overhead door or fixing gate or fence, or equipment noise. So this chart is showing you what different kinds of jobs request has been given to facility department. And the next slide is showing you activities that are done by the facility department, which is there are like ceiling tile replacement, dishwasher, like appliance change, pest control, repairing faucet. So this is my presentation for the facility ticketing system. The data I got it from facility department, and I made all these chart and graph using ArcGIS software, which is called ArcGIS Pro. This is a very important or superlative, I should say, analytical software from ESRI, which is a Geographical Information Systems company. Thank you again for listening to me. I hope you all get some idea regarding this data analytical technique. And if you all wanted to know more about dashboard, then I would be happy to share my knowledge at my best opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Shoma. Thank you so much for telling us about the ticketing system. So I would like Mr. Timer to please count 1 minute so that we can give some feedback to Shoma.
Minute counting. 1 minute started.
Thank you.
Time up.
Thank you, Mr. Timer. So we are moving onward to our third speaker. And the topic of our third speech is Introduction to Toastmaster Mentoring. As part of the effective coaching pathway, Jorge Alba, VP Education, will be completing a 7 to 10 minutes presentation to introduce new members and remind the experienced members of the importance that Toastmasters give to mentoring. The speech will focus on the Toastmasters definition of mentoring and the advantages for both proteges and mentors to be involved in the Toastmasters membership program. It is important to note that every member of Toastmasters Pathways must complete this membership project. Therefore, pay plenty of attention and enjoy the ride. With you, I leave Dr. Jorge Alba, VP of Education.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Toastmasters. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests. May I please share the screen?
Go ahead.
Let me know if you can see my screen now.
Not yet.
Not yet. Huh. Let me see. Yes. Can you see it now?
It's coming.
Okay, you see it? Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So tonight's presentation is really very specific about Toastmaster mentoring. The points that I'm going to talk tonight are the definition, purpose, and benefit of Toastmaster mentoring, the qualities that are required to be an effective and successful mentor, either in person or a virtual mentor, and the purpose and benefits of being a protege. And then I'm going to finalize my presentation with a comparison between mentoring versus coaching. Now, what does it take to be a mentor? Mentors in Toastmasters are experienced members of Toastmasters, people that can provide guidance and support to other Toastmaster members and empower the proteges to reach their goals and what they want to take out of Toastmasters. So what are the main requirements to be a mentor and a successful mentor in Toastmasters? You have to be in good standing for at least 6 months. You have to have completed an entire path before you become a mentor, and you have to complete mentorship training with a positive evaluation from proteges. So I will say by attending this presentation, you will be completing the mentorship training. Now, each mentorship commitment lasts for a period of 6 months. So when you choose a mentor or a protege, you have to stay with that person for 6 months. However, that can be extended longer if both the protege and the mentor agree in continuing for a longer period of time. What are the qualities of a successful and effective mentor? First of all, he has to be experienced and knowledgeable. He has to have personal experience and knowledge in any area. It doesn't necessarily have to be in public speaking. It could be in GIS, like some a minute ago, or like in architecture, like Christina has shown to us. So you can pick up a mentor for many different activities. You have to have wisdom, and you have to go more than anything an informed perspective. Now, you also have to be positive and supportive. That is even more important than having experience and knowledgeable. You have to plan successful strategies to work with your protege, and you have to provide an unconditional, and I repeat it again, an unconditional support. You have to be very respectful and caring, not because you know more about a particular topic than the person you are mentoring, you can treat them with disrespect or lack of caring. You have to focus on the similarities that you have with your protege. You have to identify their needs, and you have to tailor their feedback toward their needs. But more important than those three is you have to be committed and dependable. Every time you come to meet with your protege, you have to be prepared, you have to be ready, and you have to be present. You cannot be looking at the cellular when you are talking with him, or responding emails, or chatting with your kids. No, you are working with your protege. Now, what are the qualities to be a virtual mentor? And you will say, well, that's very different. No, actually, it takes the same values and traits to be a successful in-person mentor as a virtual mentor. However, the benefits is that you can work with mentors or with proteges from all over the world. You can share expert information in a variety of fields with people with different cultures, from different countries, from different religions, even from different languages. There is a unique benefit of the reliance of technology because you are going to learn to use a technology that is going to be the future of the planet. Virtual mentors create a forum for Toastmasters to communicate with a global community, to share experience, and to connect with people from all over the world, exchange new methods, skills, and gain a better understanding of the world. I'm sure we need that better understanding right now. Now, what is to be a successful protege? So a protege is any person or any member who seeks guidance and support from a mentor to reach his goal. As I mentioned before, I can be older than many of you, but maybe you have knowledge that I don't have. So you can be my mentor. I can learn from any of you and from all of you. But at the same time, there is always something to learn from others, especially from a supportive person that wants to mentor other people. You can learn different experiences. You can learn greater knowledge. You can listen to a different judgment of the situations. People that will be able to answer your questions, that maybe you can find answer for those questions. So being a protege is about aiming higher. It's about growing. It's about learning. It's about becoming better through the support and guidance of another person, no matter who. But to be a successful protege, you have to be adaptable with the desire and willingness to learn. And I should add to the desire and willingness to change, to improve. Also, you have to seek to meet your goals and to work hard to overcome those challenges. You have to be willing to consider new ideas and new suggestions. You have to be an open-minded person and very open to receive feedback, even sometimes when that feedback hurts us or we don't hear what the mentor is telling us. So you have to be prepared to reach out for guidance and learn to ask questions. But more important, you have to be respectful of your mentor and the time that he is devoting to you. You have to learn that he could be spending that time with his family and he chooses to spend it with you. So show up on time and show up prepared and be accountable for your own goals and your development. Be willing to share with the mentor. So proteges end up gaining self-confidence and often, very often, if not every time, achieve a higher rate of success than other members in Toastmasters that don't have a mentor. So one of the benefits of being a mentor, now I talk about the benefits for the protege, but it's very beneficial for the mentor too, because the mentor, as a mentor, you are going to obtain many benefits like a relationship with somebody that probably you didn't have before. You are going to know a lot of people in very deep. Many members in need of a mentor are accomplished in other aspects of life. So maybe if I'm mentoring, for example, Soma, she's going to help me improving my capabilities in ArcGIS, but I can provide to her with other experience. As long as we share ideas, perspectives, new methods of approaching people, topics, situations, we both are learning from each other. Mentors gain experience with one-on-one communication, counseling, coaching. They have the ability to create a legacy of sharing information. But more than anything, members, mentors and proteges that participate in the mentorage program of Toastmasters at all levels, it doesn't matter, we benefit from sharing those experiences. We learn, we create a personalized relationship that help us reaching our goals. Now, to finalize my presentation, there is a lot of confusion between what is coaching and what is mentoring, but it's very different. I want to point it out here tonight. Coaching, for example, focus on short-term, very specific accomplishments on most time one single work or developing a single skill. Mentoring focus on multiple goals and it's a long-term commitment, a long-term goals. Coaching is responsible for providing means for a protege to meet a single goal, while the mentor is responsible for supporting the protege to accomplish all or his or her goals. Now, coaching requires a specific skill involvement. Mentoring is very personal, requires full involvement. And finally, coaching requires providing your protege with guidance for future steps and actions. However, in mentoring, you let your protege determine the future actions. So my call of action for all of you present tonight, those of you that have 1 or 2 or more years of experience in Toastmasters, I really want you to commit tonight by the end of this meeting to take on mentorship or 1 or even 2 people in this group. So I'm going to sign you up to become mentors. And for those of you who are new to Toastmasters, I really encourage you to take the time and the commitment that it takes to become a protege, to grow as a Toastmaster member, to grow your professional career, to grow your personal life, but eventually become a mentor and pay back for the effort of those mentors that are going to help you becoming a much better Toastmaster and a much better person. Thank you very much, Madam Toastmasters.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jorge. That was a wonderful speech, and you emphasized enough on mentoring and the patronage. So thank you so much. And it was good to know about the difference of coaching and the mentoring. I think I never realized that, but definitely the coaching is for the short-term goals and the mentoring is for the long-term goals. That's great. So, Mr. Taman, can you please count 1 minute for the feedback?
One minute on the clock.
Thank you.
One minute elapsed.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Tamer. Mr. Tamer, could you please let us know that do all the speakers qualify?
Yes, Madam Toastmaster, all the speaker qualify.
Okay, great. Thank you. Mr. President, are you going to go for balloting now? Mr. President, I hope everyone voted.
Okay. I would be ending the poll right now. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Okay, thank you. After our prepared speeches, we are going to move to our second segment of our meeting, that is impromptu speaking. For that, we have our Mr. Avi Sheikh, who is going to ask us the impromptu speeches, and he's going to give us the topics so that we can start our second segment of the meeting. To Mr. Avi.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. And first of all, congratulations in setting up a really wonderful theme, breaking barriers. It's a superlative evening and we are all here to break our own barriers. So what is the barrier that we are talking about? Challenges. And why are we planning to break it? What are we going to achieve by breaking those challenges? Be successful. So tonight, we will have a few questions around breaking barriers and how you as a leader broke those and achieved success. So let's get started. And the theme remains the same. I'm going to ask a question, wait 5 seconds, who's going to pick up? If none, it would be my privilege to call out the name. And to help me out, I have a few virtual guests who is not present here tonight. And don't worry, I'm not going to play a video tonight. I'm going to bring up a few historical figures who adopted these principles, but then still after decades, we are trying to align to them. Starting with Henry Ford. One of his famous quote was, "Obstacles are those frightful things you see when you take your eyes off the goal." Let me repeat. Obstacles are those frightful things you see when you take your eyes off your goal. My question would be, everyone here is a leader. From your leadership experience, what keeps you on track? Who is going to take this? 1, 2. Jorge.
I think this is very near to me and to my heart, so I want to respond that one. As Henry Ford said, when we keep our eyes away from our focus, our goal, we start seeing obstacles and we start seeing things that not only divert our attention, but make us afraid of things and make us afraid of what we can do. Many sports athletes say that they have achieved their main goals, either breaking a world record or winning a big game or whatever, whenever they are in the zone. And I really being in the zone means being focused in your goal, not smelling, not feeling, not thinking about anything else but your goal. That is being in the zone. And I think that that applies not only to athletes or to high performance people, applying to all of us. I don't know if it has happened to you, but it has happened to me many times that when you are at work and you are involved in a very important project, maybe with a very stressful deadline, and you get into that zone, the hours passes in minutes and the minutes passes in seconds. And when you realize you have accomplished a lot of work that in other circumstances probably would have taken weeks, and you have done it in days and sometimes even in hours. And it's because you are focused, you are in the zone. So I think in any aspect of life, we always have to find that focus in our goal and get in the zone so we can become superlative achievers. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jorge. Now I know why you said it's close to your heart. Very, very well articulated. Thank you. Moving on. Our next virtual guest is Molière. And he said, the greater the obstacle, the more enjoy overcoming it. I'll repeat again. The greater the obstacle, the more joy in overcoming it. The question, in your leadership journey, what was that feeling or lesson learned you had when you overcome a big hurdle? Who's gonna take it? Christina.
So my greatest obstacle is the licensure for architecture. ever since when I was working at the toxic my toxic work firm, I didn't pass an exam. I did not pass any exam. Once I left and got rid of it and started a fresh new start with a new firm, which was in engineering, totally different from architecture. That one, I was able to pass. And I don't know if it's because of the support that I got and received, which made me want to do better myself by receiving it and make me want to help other people as well. So with that mentality, that obstacle felt so great and really and refreshing because I was not crazy. I was not stupid. I just had a bad negative place. And once I left that, I was able to successfully jump over that barrier. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. And very relevant. Excellent said. Thank you. All right. In looking at the time here, I think we will have one more to go. So let me go ahead. The final question, and I'm going to call upon somebody here. So be ready. Our virtual guest tonight is Roger Crawford. And the quote that he said was, being challenged in life is mandatory. Being defeated is optional. Let me repeat. Being challenged in life is mandatory. Being defeated is optional. The question is, as a leader, what is the mindset that you prepare yourself into to be or have a successful outcome? And I would like to call upon Omalade. Are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Hey, do you want me to repeat the question or are you good to go?
I think I got it right. I mean, generally in life, you have to go through challenges, and the challenges that will determine the outcome, something like that, right?
Yes, the question would be, as a leader or in your leadership experience, what is the mindset generally you prepare to have a successful outcome? And remember, you have 60 seconds to qualify. So minimum 60 seconds you need to talk. Go ahead, Omalade.
Okay, good evening, fellow Toastmasters. With my former employer in Nigeria, there was a time I was positioned in a desk, I mean, a unit where I had to do most of the job manually, and it was extremely challenging. I mean, there were days that I had to do like 16 hours of work. I get to go home in the middle of the night, I mean, coupled with the family responsibilities. So it was really, really challenging. And then one particular day over the weekend, I went to work personally without anybody, giving me directive to do that. I went and I sat myself down and I'm like, this thing is taking a toll on my life. I need to devise a means. I mean, it was very challenging for me. So I came up with strategies how I could do the automation of the desk. I mean, how I could do archival, how I could work with IT to design a platform where documents could be uploaded in such a way that, I mean, customers can as well review the transactions without needing to make reference to the bank or, without any input from me. So I sat down, I wrote down this proposal, and then the following week, I went to my boss office and I presented it to him that I think to make life easy for me and as well as my supervisors, because they still need to review my, my duties. So I told them, is this proposal possible? And then he looked at it and he said, oh, wow, that's fantastic, And I mean, because I prepared myself that I wanted success. I needed to, and for me to achieve that success, I needed to do something. So I took that drastic step and then I presented it to him. He also presented proposal to IT and it was accepted, and everything at the time became seamless. I mean, something that we used to do almost like 16 hours became a job that you could finish in less than 8 hours. So, and that brought me my promotion that particular year. I mean, it's something I could have continued to do the way it was, but I mean, I thought outside the box and devised the means, to make life easy for me, not just for me, for So for every other person that needed to work in that unit. So that kind of gave me a relief. I mean, I felt really proud of myself, you know, and that's one of the most challenging period of my career.
Thank you so much, Omalade, for sharing your experience.
Thank
So
you.
what we heard today, we heard from virtual guest who conveyed certain quotes years and years back, maybe 50, 60 years back. And you heard the real life stories from the leaders here tonight, how relevant they are, and all of them have been challenged with some or the other kind of hurdles. And they tried to overcome it, and they did. With that, thank you so much. I would request Mr. Timer, did every table topic speaker qualify?
Yes, Mr. Table Topic Master, every speaker qualified.
Thank you, Mr. Ballot Counter. Can we have your honors, please?
All right, I'm going to push it through now, if that's okay.
Absolutely. With
Thank
that,
you.
I would like to thank everyone to give me this opportunity to be a table topic master tonight. And while you are voting, I will return the control back to our Toastmaster.
Thank you, Mr. Topic Master. So let's do our balloting. Okay. Now, our third segment of the meeting is our evaluations.
Yeah, we're good. We're good to go.
Yeah, good. Okay, thank you. Our third part of the meeting is the evaluation. And I would like to invite our general evaluator for inviting the evaluators and getting the reports, the detailed reports. Control is going to go to our GE, Mr. Jorge Alba.
Thank you very much. So we are ready to start with the evaluation portion of this meeting. So our first evaluator of the evening will be evaluating Christina Sinclair. Our evaluator will be Akin Oni. Akin, please go ahead with the evaluation.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Christina, congratulations for another excellent delivery. You know, you and I will become partners in this. This is probably the third time in probably about 4 or 5 meetings when I had the uncommon privilege of evaluating you. And like I've done in the past, I'm going to use the CDCS methodology: content, delivery, connection, and standout. In terms of content, I like how you presented your speech and what it consists of, because escaping a toxic work environment, actually that topic endeared me to want to evaluate you again, really, because it's something that I really like to hear other people talk about, and you gave it your best shot tonight. You started with all jobs have some levels of stress. You mentioned the fact that there are signs of a toxic work environment, and then you asked us 3 questions. And then you ended it with key takeaways. So in terms of content, I will give you 100%. In terms of delivery, you started with saying, I want everyone to picture this: PIM, PIM, PIM. And then you went on to ask us the following 3 questions. What is a toxic work environment? What are the signs? How do you deal with it? And you gave us examples: physical or mental stress. And then with the last question, you said you could stay or leave. And then your body language tonight was phenomenal. You spoke with passion. You moved towards the camera. You used your hand gesture very nicely. Thank you so much. I'm so glad to watch your progression in Toastmasters as well as in public speaking. Well done. In terms of connection, you spoke about the fact that the decision is up to us, and you were vulnerable by telling us that you actually escaped a toxic work environment. One thing that I would like you to consider is you could have given one example of what made you feel that yours was a toxic work environment, specific example. That would have been fantastic. And then the standout, which is the last part, which that was in your ending, and I will read it. You said, life is too short to be miserable. You deserve to thrive, not survive. What a way to end it. Congratulations once again. I'm super proud and I feel highly privileged to actually evaluate you tonight. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Having microphone problems here. I don't know what's going on. Thank you very much, General Evaluator. So the second evaluation for the evening, even though the speaker couldn't stay here because she needs to leave to attend some family emergency, will be Rafia. Rafia will be evaluating Shoma tonight. Rafia, please.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. So Shoma is not here, but I'm going to give the feedback on her speech. First of all, I would like to congratulate her for jumping from 5 to 7 minutes speech to 7 to 10 minutes. And the way she explained the ticketing system, and it's good to know that City of Sugar Land is working very hard. And a lot of things we did not know about the system because we are here just as customers, we are just filing the complaints and we don't know what's happening in the background. But it was good to know about the system that the city is working behind the scene. And Shoma has worked very hard in collecting all the data, and she worked extremely hard in explaining and making the slides. For us, like as a person, of course, I was trying to relate. I was trying to just understand, but she was trying hard with her gestures and with the slides and with the numbers. Unfortunately, I'm not the person who is good in numbers, who is good in understanding all those the apps and the programs. But she introduced the program that she said that ArcGIS, and I never heard about this program. Maybe I'm not in this field, but this is the program that she developed, and she's working with that. So overall, she did great. She did great in speaking, in connecting, and in collecting the data and presenting to us. So that was great. But one thing that I would like to tell her that was too advanced for people like me, for a normal person who has not worked in these kind of systems. It was way too advanced, too technical for us. So I was trying, but I could get the outline, but not too much. So that was something about her speech, and definitely she worked hard, and the way she conveyed the process and the facility ticketing status, that was wonderful. So no, thank you so much for giving me a chance to evaluate Shoma. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Evaluator number 2. So continuing on with our evaluation for this evening, to evaluate my presentation, we have tonight Upay Kalu. Upay, our previous president of Southwest Project Management Toastmasters. Please go ahead and perform your evaluation.
Thank you for the opportunity to evaluate Rohe. Rohe, what a superlative presentation you have given tonight. Again, your presentation, I can see both as a presentation and as a duty as a VPE. What a combination. Great job. What I'm going to use the format of what you did very well and area of improvement to evaluate you tonight. Your presentation had a very clear outline. It was a good way of showing us where you're coming from and where you're going. Where you felt we needed some explanation, you were able to provide definition, which I think was a very good way to make sure everyone was going along with you. And the flow was easy to follow. And few of your pictures were very clear. One that I saw, the other behind, trying to push to go up. And one thing I could see in that picture is the fact that as the guy in front is going up, the guy that is pushing him is also going up. So what could have been a better way to demonstrate that the benefit in mentoring is not only to the mentee, but the mentor also gets a benefit from that. So that was a very good picture to have shown. At the end, you were also able to present a kind of a balance to show the difference between coaching and that of a mentoring. That was good. Your presentation is also something we could also connect with. Every one of us here who have been here for a while would also show where we benefited from mentoring. So that was a good one for you. Is there anything to improve? When I look at what was expected from the work you have done, you have satisfied that of letting us know from VP point of view. I would have expected to have seen your experience as a mentee and how that has helped you to understand and to profit from mentoring. That I didn't see, and I would have wanted to see that so that it can also resonate from people who are thinking, what do I get from mentoring? Number two, I think your slides were a little bit crowded. If you can find a way to lessen the wordings in your slides, I think that will also pass and make your presentation more superlative than it was. On the whole, it was a great job. I can't wait to see your next speech. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Pai. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. As a general evaluator, as a speaker number 3. But you just are giving me more ideas for my next presentation. So guess you have to put up with me the next time. Thank you very much. So with that, I guess we conclude our evaluation part of the evening. So I'll pass it back to you, Madam Toastmasters, to continue on with the meeting.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. So I would like to ask Mr. Tamer, do all the evaluators qualify?
Yes, Madam Toastmaster, they are qualified.
Everyone qualified. Okay. So, Mr. Ballot Counter, are we going to have the voting?
Yes, ma'am. Just a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Waiting for 2 people to vote. If you haven't voted, please do so.
We should have 9 votes.
Yeah, no, 9 minus 1, 9 minus mine. I can't vote.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So do we have 8 votes?
I have 6 right now.
So we need 2 more.
Yes. If you haven't voted, please do so. But if we don't have it, we can probably continue. That doesn't need to hold us up. So we can continue. I think we have a winner already. So that's
okay.
Let's continue. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now I'm going to give control back to Mr. General Evaluator so that you can call your team for the reports. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. So now we are going to start with the report. So we will start with the grammarian report. So Pai, could you please give us the grammarian report?
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. As a grammarian, my report tonight is for Christina. The word of the day, she didn't use it. But there are a couple of positive phrases that I heard her say. And she talked about the alarm, the special sound every morning. And I think that I could relate to that. Even this morning, when I had that alarm, I could have wanted it to have been maybe in the next 1 hour and not when it rang. The way you also describe signs of a toxic working environment, I think that's I could picture what you were talking about, and it couldn't have been a better way to say it than that. Summer, I didn't hear the word of the day from you. For Jorge, I didn't hear the word of the day. And for table topic, Avi used the word of the day once. I couldn't catch any dramatic error from anyone. Other than that, everything from grammarian went well, and I turn it back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Mr. Grammarian. Thank you for your report. The next report is from our R counter. Rafia, could you please provide us with the R counter report?
Our counter was Miss Soma. Soma is not here.
I took
I'm sorry,
Soma's
Carol.
role.
Carol,
Yes.
I misplaced. It's Carol is the R counter for the evening.
Yes, thank you very
Okay,
much.
okay.
With regard to the Oz, we actually did very well. Soma had a few more than others. I believe she's one of our newest speakers. She also had many so's to introduce the next section of what she was going to say. So those are two things that someone can share with Soma, perhaps the next time we see her. Others did not have too many Oz. I could make a listing of everybody who had a few, but I think that it would be irrelevant because everybody spoke very well, surprisingly very well this time. Jorge, your favorite spacer word was now. Now we're going to do this. Now we're going to do that. That's the only thing that I noticed about that thing. And with regard to the proper grammar, I would just like to say we all did fairly well. Ukpai's already told about who mentioned the word of the day. And there was one little phrase there that caught my eye, which was more superlative. I don't think we could ever be more superlative. That's just something to think about. But that's the only thing that I caught in that particular thing. Thus, as an R counter, I think that is my report, Mr. General Evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Accounters. So finally, our reports, our final report of the evening, well, besides the General Evaluator report, but our report now will be from the timer. Mr. Timer, please provide us with your report.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Everybody qualified when it comes to time. But for Christina, she used 6 minutes and 38 seconds. Soma used 10 minutes on the dot. Mr. George Alba uses 10 minutes and 30 seconds. For the table topic, Mr. George Alba uses 1 minute and 34 seconds. Christina uses 1 minute and 16 seconds. Molade uses 2 minutes and 15 seconds. For the evaluator, Mr. Akin only uses 3 minutes and 1 second. Nabrafia Safi uses 2 minutes and 15 seconds. And Toastmaster Okpai Kalu uses 3 minutes and 11 seconds. That's the report of my time. Over to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Mr. Timon. Appreciate it, your work. Finally, will be the evaluation from the general evaluator. So I have to say, and I believe that you all agree with me, that we have a superlative meeting tonight. Everybody qualify on time. We haven't done that in a long time, so that's a plus. I guess we are breaking barriers tonight. That's excellent. Some positive points. We started the meeting right on time. All the functionaries were selected and ready to go ahead of time. That is a positive. Probably that was one of the main reasons that we have such a successful meeting. The grammarian introduced the word of the day and the theme of the day, breaking barriers and superlative, and explained to us what this word means. And I believe that the speakers, all the speakers, including myself, we all choose very interesting topics that make this meeting flow very well. And everybody was in the zone. Everybody was with the eyes in the objective. Now, there were a couple of glitches, mostly by me. I confused the A counter. I named Rafia the A counter when it was Carol. And I said that the second speaker was Akin when it was Rafia. So I mixed them up all the evening. But all together, we have a very successful meeting. Thank you very much to everybody for participating, for putting the time that it requires to be prepared, for preparing for those speeches, for preparing the impromptu questions, for being here tonight. It was a superlative meeting. Thank you very much. And with that, I return the control to our Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Mr. G. You did a wonderful job along with your team. So now I would like everyone to be ready for the drum roll. We are going to announce our winners. So I'm going to start first from the best table topic speaker. So best table topic speaker for today is Amalade. Congratulations, Amalade. Okay, now we are going to move towards our best evaluator. Okay, let's have drum roll ready. The best evaluator is Ukpai Kalu. Okay, and now last but not the least, the best speaker is Christina Sinclair.
Yay.
Congratulations, Christina. Congratulations. What a wonderful meeting. What a wonderful meeting. Now, thank you so much for all of your participation. And I am going to pass on the charge of the superlative meeting to our to Ms. Carol Ritter, our presiding officer.
Yes. Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. I have to agree, this was a wonderful meeting. I've enjoyed it every bit. I would also like to ask our guests now. We had a lady previously here. I'm not sure if she's here.
No, she's no longer here. She left.
She did. All right. Well, Michael, you are no longer a guest. Aren't you a member of the team now?
Yes, he is our secretary.
All right. And Omalade?
Omalade is a member as well.
You are a member as well. So we have no guests that we need to get a recommendation or feedback from. And we're very glad to have both of you as new members in particular. I would also like to give a shout out for this meeting to a person whom I think provided us with a wonderful experience at this meeting, and that's to Avi. Those table topics were very, very wonderful. I really appreciate it. I wish I'd had the chance to talk because I have a lot to say. Now, it is further my responsibility to set up the next meeting. Now, we need to have a Toastmaster and we need to have a general evaluator at minimum. Do we have anybody who can volunteer for either of those roles? Toastmaster.
I can try Toastmaster.
Good. All right, Christina. All right. Now, Christina, Toastmaster. How about general evaluator?
There you go.
Rafia. All right, that's great. Rafia will be general evaluator. Moving forward from those two roles, anybody up for a speaker role? A speaker role. Michael, have you given your first speech? Have you given your icebreaker?
I'm going to prep for that. I know I have given it in my other club, but I haven't here.
This will be a wonderful opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I will, because of my timing now, getting back from work, kind of off today, so I'll plan towards it.
Okay. How about you, Omalade? How about you? Have you given your first icebreaker?
Yes, I have in the past. But I'll see if I can do it next week. Yeah, I'll try and work with that. Yeah.
Okay, that would be wonderful. So now we have one speaker. Anybody else interested in offering a speech?
I won't be attending the next meeting. I'm going to be on my yearly vacation with my wife.
Okay.
And actually Wednesday I'll be meeting my children in North Carolina. But I'll promise I can definitely have another speech for the first meeting in November if you want me.
All right. Okay. And speaking of first meeting in November, are we going to have a second meeting in November since it's around the Thanksgiving holiday time? Has the group decided on that? What is your practice?
Yeah, we have not decided on that. We will talk about it during the executive leadership team meeting on Monday.
All right.
And then at the next meeting, we will let everyone know. But thank you. Very good question, Madam Presiding Officer.
Okay. So now we have a Toastmaster for next meeting, which will be the let's see, today's the 12th, so it's the 26th of October. So for the 26th of October, Kristen will be the Toastmaster, Rafia, the general evaluator, Omalade will be one speaker. Is anybody else would like to give a speech?
Yeah, if there's no speaker, I can give a speech.
Okay, Akeem, that's great. Akeem, that's great. All right, thank you. Now we have two, and it will be the responsibility of the general evaluator to pull together a team of evaluators and the other functionaries. I think that's everything we need. I think I'll turn the meeting back over to our president. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Madam Presiding Officer. What a great job. You see, you just did it. You scared me the other night that you weren't going to be able to do it. And we still have
2 minutes.
about 3 minutes to go. So thank you so much for making it a project management affair. This is very good. So thank you all so much. One thing that I must not forget is, at this point, I'd really like to thank our sponsor, PMI Houston, for really continuing to support us. They listen to us when we talk to them. And we even have one of their leaders as a member of this club and as an officer of this club, who is the director of technology. I may not say it right, but that is Toastmaster Avi. So he looks after the technology piece. And there's also a vice president of membership. I mean, what a privilege that we have in this club. So I'm very grateful to PMI Houston for continuing to sponsor, and I'm grateful to all of you for sticking together to continue to make this club what it is. No one person can make this law what it is. It's the work of all of us. And I'm really, really grateful to all of you. We have about 15 paid members this term. We need at least 5 to 7 more. So I want to employ you all. Let's see who we can talk to. And again, like I mentioned before the start of this meeting, if you are very close to the ally, Anthony and Susan, if I can get the two of them back, that would be great. I sent them emails, but I haven't been able to call them. I just thought I should give them some time to think through that. And many thanks to Rafia for going after almost everybody. And when she hit a brick wall, she will send me a very nice email to see if there's anything I could do. I think I was able to reach out to a few people, and they actually paid. So which was very, which word was I gonna use? It was actually very rewarding to see that happen. So thank you also very much for what you do. Do we have any question before we wrap it up?
No, I just have a question or a comment. So I'm going to reach to each one of you experienced members again. So for you to choose a protege, a mentee. So think about it. Definitely the benefits are incredible. You won't regret mentoring somebody. So I'm going to go again through the list. I know I already reached out to many of you in the last month or so. I'm going to reach out again after this presentation. And I hope that I get a positive response this time, please. Looking forward. I'm mentoring already one person, so I couldn't be giving this speech if I am not following my own advice.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And just so that you all know, for the next agenda, all the names that were put out there tonight are already populated on the agenda, so you don't need to worry. That is the advantage of indicating that you are ready to function. We have the Toastmaster, we have the GE, we have 2 speakers. And if anybody else is interested, I will put your name right there. And you don't need to remember to do that. One thing that I just asked for is that Madam Toastmaster and the GE, let's see if we can identify the grammarian very quickly so that we have the meeting theme as well as the word of the day as quickly as possible. That would be very helpful. And if anybody doesn't have time and you have all this information, all you owe me is send it to me via email or text. I will put it in there. So thank you also very much. Any other closing thought, anyone?
No, I think that will be it.
All right, with that said, the meeting, our next meeting will still be presided over by distinguished Toastmaster, Carol Reader. So please, let's give her our unalloyed support. And you see that I don't send a lot of emails anymore. We have presiding officer, we have Toastmasters, so they do all the work. So thank you all so much for making my role so easy. I really appreciate it. And with that said, this meeting is hereby adjourned. If anyone wants to stick around, please, you may. But thank you again, and enjoy the rest of your evening, and have a great next 2 weeks. And see you on the 26th.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Bye-bye.
A good one. Good night.
Yeah.
See you, officers, on Monday.
Yes, that's right. See you, officers, on Monday.
Thank you. Okay, bye.
All right, bye-bye.